Ooh, Charlie, you're in hot water. What are you gonna do? Oh. So lately, Moist Critical, or just Critical, or Penguin Zero, whatever you want to call him. I always call him Crit. He's under some hot water because, well, he tried to talk about the H3H3 and iDubbbz situation with the lawsuit, and then everybody is just prodding him with an electric prod because, well, Moist Critical does low quality content. Unrelated topic, but I guess like that's just on the table right now.
Yeah, I had a feeling it was going to be a pretty poisonous topic where the only winning move is not to play in regards to covering the H3 versus iDubbbz lawsuit. But sometimes you put your hand on the stove to see if it's still hot. And boy howdy is it ever. Like I've always said, I treat this channel like a diary. I just blabber about things that I feel like talking on. Just
that's why the content is kind of low quality.
6 petite leggies around and just giving my thoughts from the old steel trap up here on it. And one topic I've always covered is creator lawsuits. So when I heard about the H3 versus iDubbbz defamation case, I wanted to take a peek into it, sink my teeth in there and see what's going on, because that is a pretty wild thing to learn about. And learn about it I did like a little scholar. It was a new lawsuit. It was only public knowledge for like 24 hours, so I did as much research on it as I could and watched the iDubbbz stream that started, that is like the main catalyst of it. I watched the H3 stream where he explains his lawsuit, and I talked to both parties, iDubbbz and Ethan, to try and get the clearest, most complete picture of everything going on here.
Yeah, because that's all the content you can generate. You can only make, despite having a whole team behind you, all you can do is react content. React content is like, or news coverage content is basically low budget content.
And then I just gave you,
and people don't like it that you have like a whole full team to do this, and you're just mass multitasking with the gaming team and the soap.
You're always welcome to disagree with me. I've always kept that door wide open because I actually value differences of opinion. I hate echo chambers. I spit on that constantly. I've actively shut down the idea that you have to agree with everything I say or else I hate you. You're tacky and I hate you. Throughout all my content, from the womb to the tomb, I have always welcomed discussion and people having a difference of opinion because, as I've always said, I think when you surround yourself with sycophants and you only lock yourself into one way of viewing, I don't think
he agrees with with what he's saying 100%, because he's obviously not happy about people going against him in this whole drama.
Self a disservice. I think it is
I think he is not happy about it.
Locked in a bubble. Now, the reason I mention that is because I made the mistake. I committed the old sin of taking a peek at what the discussion was around this video on
the old sin,
which
he is downplaying
it. I haven't done in quite a few moons now. I was expecting like actual discussion because I'm new to this topic and I wanted to see, okay, well, what are some things that I didn't know about? What can I learn about here and dive deeper on? And there was some very valid critiques and some information that I could get my hands on and learn more about. But boy howdy, there was a lot of hoopla that I couldn't have even imagined would be like a controversial thing. And there were people that were proudly stating they didn't watch the video and then getting angry at things they assumed I might have said in it, or attacking me for things that I never said that aren't in the video because they didn't watch it, or they're replying to someone who's just actually making shit up that they're pulling out of their ass that I never said. So it just feels fucking useless to even engage in the topic in that case. Like, it's so odd. Like, one that I didn't expect
the right
was
choice.
Just me mentioning that I'm not online as much as I used to be was apparently like a highly debated topic.
The guy whose entire career is front-running whatever's going viral is saying that he
Well, that guy's a hater.
going on the internet.
That guy hates Critical.
I mean, obviously, we got to take a.
He's jealous of Critical.
Let's see what videos he's been making. Lego. Watch Mojo got even more pathetic. Degenerate cringe. Lego vigilantes. Lego scandal keeps getting messy. Barber responds to the Lego scandal. Lego scandal is getting extremely dangerous and scary. Cringe officer embarrasses himself.
Yeah, it's super low.
Keeps getting crazy.
I get it. It's very low quality video production. But here's the thing. He can get away with it. And anybody would do the same thing. Anybody, 95% of people, if they can get away with low quality production and have a huge video out of it, they would absolutely do it. This guy is just salty and butthurt.
Dear.
The gist of it is, when I was talking about the defamation lawsuit, I also mentioned that Ethan has other active lawsuits against other creators, and I called him the Nintendo of YouTubers because he's become extremely litigious. But I didn't dive into those other lawsuits because I didn't know much about them. And that claim is apparently extremely hard to believe because everyone thinks and assumes that I am terminally online like I used to be 2 or 3 years ago. But when I said that's not the case, there are quite a few people that just don't believe me. Unfathomable moment, so it must be a lie. So here's a streamer debunking by going through my channel and noticing I've posted a lot of videos on Lego, for example, because of the big Lego scandal, which I think is a very
I'm also invested in that
example
too.
to use off the point he's making about me front-running every viral story. Because with the Reckless Bin versus Bricks and Minifigs Lego scandal, I actually was getting called out for avoiding that and ignoring it because I was late to covering it. Reckless Bin dropped part 1 on May 21st.
I mean, you cannot please everyone.
I heard about it from Stream Chat, and then a friend
You're
sent
gonna
it
have
to me as
haters
well,
on both ends.
and I made my video covering it on May 26th, 5 days later. But in that interim, people were saying I was avoiding the topic. I just find it fascinating how, if I cover something quickly or extensively, like in the case of the Lego scandal, that's a problem. I'm just front-running shit to capitalize off the virality of it. But if I am late to covering something, well, that means that I was avoiding it and I must have known about it the whole time and had ulterior motives to avoid the topic out of cowardice, and I only
That
talk
sucks.
about it.
That
when
does suck.
pressed. Feels like a lose-lose. If I'm too quick to something or too interested in something,
But I
so
think
maybe
people,
I'll
I think that guy's,
Well-
I think that streamer's primary reason of critique is that your videos are low quality. I don't think it's so much about you making a video too early or too late for ulterior reasons. I think it's just the production quality is really low. Dolan Darkus also said the same thing. You have like a whole team, but and you're making a lot of money from YouTube, but your production is absolute ass. And to be fair, they're haters. They're just jealous, right? They like to be in your shoes. But I also think that your production could do a lot more better.
Well, then I'm just there to front run it and capitalize off it being popular. But if I'm too slow to it, well, it means I was actually avoiding it.
No one has a
time,
problem
and
with
when I
that.
do cover it.
No one
well,
has a
only
problem
because
with
people pressured
you
me.
being too soon or too late. He's
Where's the
deflecting.
Goldilocks zone? I can't be too quick to something or too interested in it, because that's frowned upon. But I also can't be too slow to it or not cover it at all, because then that must mean that I knew about it the whole time. I'm damn near omniscient, I guess. I see everything, and thus, if I am slow to it or don't talk about it, then there was an ulterior motive and a deeper reason that's nefarious. So where is the Goldilocks zone? I personally don't see why it's so hard to believe that, considering in a lot of the stories I cover, they have already been...
I've seen other people's videos complain about Critical. It's not about him releasing something too early or too late. It's about his low quality of production.
covered by others like...
So I don't know why he's
Slop
talking about this.
Slop Live has beaten me to like every topic for the last year, basically. And the way I find out about a lot of the things I cover is through, like I said, friends sending it to me, or when I do stream, which isn't daily. I'm a semi-retired streamer, but when I do stream, Stream Chat putting things on my radar. And naturally, what people are probably going to be sending are the popular things because that's what they've seen. So that's usually what I get sent. But it's not all the time either. Like on his stream, as he was scrolling around talking about how it's only like, you know, the big popular stuff, he passed multiple things that weren't. Like that video about not enough people think about this. That's about sand. It's literally just about sand and sand-related crimes like the Sand Mafia. And he also even called out another one about ranking every item on Panda Express's menu. He used that to like belittle me about like, you know, it's not good is the thing he was insinuating there. But it's not like a viral story. It's not like Panda Express is a huge topic you gotta strike while the iron's hot. My channel has always just been things that I'm interested in at the time. And yeah, there are a lot of stories I get sent that I do find interesting and do yap about, like the Lego scandal. But I really
honestly, I don't think people don't care about any of the things that he cares about, like bad gaming or bad video games or majority of his news, right? I think the only one that really caught my attention was the Lego thing, but anything that he has interest in, like his gaming team or his soap, I have no interest in it. Zero. I just think that he has a very likable personality that that works very well on the internet, which is why a lot of people watch him. But then I think people are just getting fatigued from it because it's getting old and getting repetitive.
Do miss a lot more.
It happens of everything.
I did when I was
everything gets old eventually.
Online all the time, like 2 or 3 years ago. I don't know like how else to prove it to you. I mean, I guess like you can look at my Twitter page and see that I have 2 tweets in like the last 2 years, or on Instagram I make like a post every month and a half, and a lot of them are just me hanging out with my farm animals. Like you can check my streaming history and see
low-key retired.
An active stream, like I'm an active streamer, but I'm not streaming with the same frequency I used to, and I'm not putting in really long hours aside from when I did Destiny 2 Salvation's Edge Blind recently, which was fucking exciting.
Nothing wrong with being retired, but
really know how
if you do make a video, people prefer higher quality
videos. I just don't see everything that happens online, and I can't believe that's something that's apparently like a big issue or so unbelievable. Like, in fact, it's embarrassing for me that people can't imagine that I'm not online all the time.
All the lazy ass fucking thumbnails. Also, he has the Asmongoldie outfit where he only wears a dirty white tee.
Yeah, this guy was only complaining about the quality of the video, right? It's lazy. But Critical keeps talking about the videos being released early and late. Different topic. He is answering a completely different question. So I think Critical he's actually trying to change the topic, which is a pretty disingenuous thing to do.
Shirt in every fucking thumbnail.
Disingenuous. I hate using that word.
Is like, guys, he's gotta.
A lot of Gen A's are using it.
Express tier list.
Well, now you've gone way too far. How fucking dare you? I have been wearing white t-shirts, not dirty white t-shirts, by the way, pristine Jim Mint white t-shirts since high school, since Asmongold was in diapers. It's like me saying that you have a moist Cr1tikal hair and beard combo. But anyway, now let's talk about the other lawsuits here, because that was a big point that people were very upset with, that I didn't extensively cover those as well when talking about the defamation lawsuit. And since I didn't do so and people didn't believe that it was because I didn't know about it, they are accusing me of knowingly avoiding it or even silently championing for those lawsuits, which I find befuddling, because throughout my entire time on YouTube, the 18 or 19 years on YouTube, I think I have made it beyond crystal clear how much I dislike this litigious approach to online discourse.
I agree with that.
This excessive use of the legal system for strong arming or silencing. Like, I have made, I don't know how many videos covering cases even outside of like the internet scope of like, you know, sometimes the legal toilet paper flying back and forth.
Ethan is inclined to sue people.
The willy-nilly lawsuits that fly around from like corporations attempting to bully people too. Like, I don't know why anyone would think for a second that I would be avoiding talking about that or agreeing with it. Why would I? I never have in the past, so why would I start now? You just don't like me, which is totally fine. I get it. Not everyone likes the old Florida peach. But you're just viewing it in bad faith and making that assumption, and it's incorrect. Because the truth is, and this shouldn't come as a shock to anyone, after learning more about those other lawsuits that Ethan is engaged in, like the fair use lawsuits and such, guess what? I don't agree with those either. Now, obviously, I don't know all.
Well, okay. Assuming that I might have to disagree with Critical here. Assuming that he didn't that he learned everything and he knows the truth about how Frogan or those other streamers were just full blown making things up about Ethan, right? I think they were just they were using H3's video to stream on their stream, and then they said, okay, watch his videos on my stream and don't go to his channel to watch the videos. And they're just being leeches and parasites and just trying to drain the system and deliberately telling people to not go to his channel to watch his videos. I think that's what evil people do, and I don't feel sorry for evil people. I think evil people do deserve to get sued because they usually do that to good people.
All the nitty-gritty around every single lawsuit. I've only just begun learning about all of these, but from everything I've seen from the lawsuits that he has actively going on, there's nothing in there.
Like sometimes you just have to be hard on evil people, like those Frogan or Cr1tikal, like those woke sapsucker streamers. Those need to be purged.
That makes
and I'm okay with H3 suing them, not iDubbbz.
Or that this is different from other times in the past where creators have sued each other over disputes. Now, clearly, I don't know all the nuance and intricacies of fair use law.
Okay.
Ethan would certainly know that better than I, and many others would. So maybe he has some strong cases here. And in one of the instances, with one
so
of
he learned
streamers,
general information, and he's making a judgment based on general information
without even an attempt to transform it. So maybe that could be like a easy fair use win for Ethan. But I just don't think that's a win overall. Like, for as long as I've been on the internet, that kind of behavior has been frowned upon. And I really think if the targets were different, if it wasn't streamers that a lot of people don't like, the response would be very different to these lawsuits. Right now, a lot of people celebrate them because they just hate the people that Ethan is suing. So they go yeehaw for it. But these individuals, like the streamers in particular for fair use, they are a fraction of the size of Ethan. So it's to me a hard case to make that he was genuinely like losing eyeballs because of them streaming it on their Twitch channel. And yeah, that is.
Oh, okay. So he knew about that situation, but does he know that Frogan is malicious? Frogan and Cr1tikal are malignant, cancerous, turmeric people that just wants to seek destruction of other people that they don't like.
Asshole thing for them to do, but let's be real, it's not hurting you, it's just you don't like them and they don't like you. So this was a way of being able to
they were being destructive
there. And since a lot of the internet doesn't like them, they get to rally behind you as well, as opposed to start asking the question, why even bother? You already won, again, against that kind of behavior. The internet, from what I can tell, this is kind of post-mortem now since I'm super late to it, but from what I can tell, no one was really on the side of the streamers that were just blatantly streaming it without any kind of transformation or anything like that. So you already won. What's the point in continuing this further, paying big bucks to the lawyer just so you could also financially hurt them to further, get them? It seems like it's less about, I'm
totally happy with purging evil people. Critical may not see this, right? I think he might be one of those people that don't know how destructive evil people can be. If you give them an inch, as the old adage would say, they take a mile. You let these evil people, have a little bit of our views, then they will keep pushing, and then they will keep taking until they can have it all. That's why you gotta shut it down before they take it too far, and it's too late.
Fighting a just cause for fair use, and more about like, here's some more ammunition. The big one that I've spent the most time looking into is the Denham's case, because it's the most recent and is being touted as a tentative loss for Ethan, which I don't know what a tentative loss really means, because it's not an official loss. It's still an ongoing lawsuit here. But the judge had like a very seemingly stern view on it, that even cited Ethan Klein's previous fair use victory against him in his suit against Denham's. Ethan Klein, a while back, had a landmark achievement in the fight for fair use against good old bold guy Matt Haas, and that ruling was cited here against him in this fair use lawsuit. So to me, that illustrates that maybe these lawsuits aren't coming from a genuine place of trying to enforce real fair use, and are potentially just coming from a place of revenge. Now, I don't know the intricacies of everyone that's being sued and their relationship to Ethan and the snark community. I don't know, but from everything I've seen in these lawsuits, I just don't agree with going this extremely litigious path. There are very few lawsuits in this space that I think make sense. And like I said yesterday, the one that does is him going after the snarking community that allegedly did send a fraudulent CPS check to his house and human skulls, which apparently is taboo to even mention now for some reason. I got fucking dogpiled for bringing that up, but from everything I've seen, that did happen, right? Like, I didn't hallucinate that or anything. So, like, that's a pretty fucking big deal. That's a pretty traumatizing thing. That is psychopath behavior. So, if the snarking community is responsible for that, then yeah, it makes sense to go that path, because that is extremely unhinged, and that is something that
anybody
should
can agree
be
on
pursued
that
legally to stop that from ever happening again.
No one's shitting on you for...
But yeah, I honestly am very surprised how many people were so quick to jump to the conclusion that I was avoiding this and lying about not knowing about it. And secretly championing for those lawsuits and that kind of thing.
No, I think people had a problem with you championing for anti-lawsuit against evil people. People are tired. They're tired of these evil people taking advantage of good people. And we tried many solutions. We tried talking, and in some cases we tried violence, although that has its limitations. If we cannot talk to them or use violence against them, what do? Well, we take their money. That will shut them up, right? That will solve the problem. These bad actors, these malicious people, if we cannot silence them, then we'll take their money. I'm totally pro lawsuit against evil people, but not for iDubbbz though. I don't think iDubbbz should get sued.
It's so upsetting because good faith is something that's just gone. It's completely flushed down the shitter. Anyone who would watch the video in good faith would be able to recognize, okay, maybe he is telling the truth and doesn't know about those lawsuits, which is why he hasn't included them there. I feel like that would be a normal thing to do, a courtesy to extend, considering I have always vocally advocated against this kind of extremely litigious path in online discourse and online communities.
It's not just discourse, it's full-blown defamation. They were making things up about Ethan. They were making death threats about his family and his kid. And it's just people that a lot of people don't like. These are people that are evil by nature, and it's always good to purge. holy shit. It always feels good to purge innately evil people.
So why now is that
is always
no
a good
longer afforded
idea.
the courtesy of, oh no, he definitely fell back on his principles. He doesn't believe in that anymore here. But I guess, to be honest, good faith is kind of viewed as weakness online. People are far more interested in scalp, far more interested in the spectacle and as much shit slinging as possible. So if it's trying to approach things with a level head, you kind of get attacked by everybody because no one really wants
Trust me,
that anymore.
good people are
So,
tired
like
of
yesterday,
practicing
I
good
feel like I
faith
did
towards bad people.
a very good faith look at everything, and I spent 3 hours going through like the essentials of what was going on, learning about it from the ground up. And once I did that, then I dove into watching iDubbbz's stream where the lawsuit spawned from. I watched H3's stream, and I talked to them and continued to look deeper into it across the span of most of that day. And I approached it, I believe, in very good faith across the board. And in doing so, you will always earn that prestigious title of fence sitter. If you're not extreme on either side of the drama, you are fence sitting it. Which I think it's a term that's really lost all its luster, because in that video, I think it's a pretty strong...
I do think that just a small portion of people will complain about fence sitting. But for the most part, majority of people do not care about fence sitting. It's a very small group of people that will complain about fence sitters. I think Critical is just blowing this way out of proportion.
Strong stance. I don't agree with Ethan's defamation lawsuit. And I spend 36 minutes yapping about all of my reasons why. And boy howdy, I repeated myself multiple times. I watched it back and I literally made the same point like 3 times by accident. Like I said, I do most of these in only a handful of takes, so sometimes I lose track of what I've already said. So like I really did make it very clear what my stance is, that this is not something that gets 2 big thumbs up from me. But because I also mentioned that iDubbbz stream was a very poorly handled one that I think used a disgusting comment to try and illustrate his point, in that it was a very painful stream to sit through. Because I mentioned that, people are accusing me of both sidesing it. You were shitting on iDubbbz for most of the video, actually, which I don't know how you walk away with that impression. iDubbbz himself will also tell you that that was a bad stream, and he is regretful of it. He has publicly come out, apologized for it, and said that that was bad, and that it was too far. But me giving my perspective that, yeah, it was pretty torturous to sit through is apparently, a big no-no. Now, I'm going to go ahead and repeat myself again before getting into the next stuff I want to talk about, because again, a lot of the drama from this isn't even about my take on it. It's about clips of my take on it without even giving why I think that. So I want it really front and center so that there can be no confusion why I disagree with this defamation lawsuit. So to do that, let's take it from the top, from the start. What started this defamation lawsuit?
It's okay. So I do want to say I don't agree with what's being said in this comment here.
I mean, me and Critical will agree on this. I think that this is blown out of proportion and H3 shouldn't sue.
But I'm putting it on screen because I think it should be addressed, because it's a big, bold accusation that's very fucked up.
That comment he is showing was not made by him. He then goes on to explain what he's actually trying to accomplish by having that comment on his stream for so long as a watermark.
Also, I will say that I think Ethan Klein is terrified of this guy. So it's just kind of like legit. It is to me, it's super funny that he has so much smoke.
I think
this is me and him agree on this point
clearly, and there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it, is that he doesn't agree with the comment. So it just doesn't make sense to me why Ethan is super willing to say, like, I didn't mean anything coming from Destiny, but iDubbbz having it on his stream means use of exacting that revenge and punishing him further for associating with snarkers, as opposed to actually pursuing a real defamation case. Because if it's a defamation case you're only willing to pursue in Canada and not here in the States, then to me it doesn't feel like a defamation case worth pursuing. And people were upset at me for saying that, but I just truly believe that free speech, laws around speech in general, should be very protected, and I feel online space. I don't think there's ever any winners in it at all, except for, of course, the fucking lawyers that are salivating. And yes, I do believe this sets a bad example that can open a big can of worms in the online space. Not just with commentary YouTubers, by the way, just in general. People were upset about stifling voices, but didn't bother to hear the entire take. The reason why I think something like this could stifle voices is because if this does become commonplace, where people learn from this example that going through litigation to handle issues is the proper channel, people will be less willing to cover controversial stories. Like, for example, when you make a video calling out like a potential scam, you are taking a very real risk. And in the case of...
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, I've seen it happen before where YouTubers call someone a pedophile, and it turns out to be wrong. I think the biggest example was recently was, what's his name? Vitali. He called some Indian dude a pedophile, right? And it put him on stream and blew him the fuck up. You could see how shit like that can happen if there is absolutely no repercussion, right?
Who's to say that company that may or may not be scamming sees that and just immediately goes this path, shutting it down? You are showing this customer's perspective, and it's hurting our brand. It's defamatory. We are coming after you with litigation. It would be, I believe, an issue that could be wide-reaching. And other YouTubers that are, in a beef with each other, maybe they do the same thing. Like, you said this about me, or you posted a screenshot of a tweet that was slanderous about me, so now I'm coming after you legally. And then it just becomes a big problem. Like, I'll use a commentary example because I think that's the one people are very focused on. You remember the whole Mr. Beast and Dog Pack thing? Well, that was perhaps the biggest payday for tons of commentary channels that latched onto that bosom hard. Tons and tons and tons of videos were being churned out daily covering that situation there. And
Dog Pack.
Fast forward a length of time, turns out a lot of the allegations were either misleading or just outright.
Oh, it was his ex-worker, like his ex-employee, that made all these crazy allegations against Mr. Beast. Like, said how Mr. Beast is scamming the workers out of pay or something.
False and
something along those lines.
So should Mr. Beast then turn around and issue a lawsuit to every commentary channel that was covering that saga and siding with Dog?
Low-key, yes. They took on, because those commentators, they made a huge judgment against a guy with no evidence. That guy, that employee, was an absolute nobody. He didn't provide good proof, and people just believe it off the rip. It's the same situation. I'll tell you a situation that can happen to you in real life, right? Imagine a girl accusing a guy of sexual assault, right, on the street. She accused a guy of sexual assault, and every guy that's around the area believed her, and they all decided to attack that guy that was innocently accused. They break his legs, break his arms, break his ribs, put him in a coma, just to later on find out 1 month later that the guy was just falsely accused of being a sexual assaulter. How would you feel if you were the guy that is crippled for life because some girl falsely accused you of sexual assault and got all these people to attack you? How will you handle the situation? Would you want revenge on all those simps that was protecting this false accuser? Or are you just gonna go like, okay, all right, I'll practice good faith and I'll let these people go? How would you feel about that? Being the victim of a violent crime.
pack and promoting the dog pack allegations as truth and putting them forward as legitimate and real? I don't think so. I don't think that would be a good thing, but he realistically probably does have a pretty strong-ish case he could build for defamation lawsuits against a lot of channels that were actively preaching dog packs allegations as gospel. Titles and thumbnails talking about how he's a fraud and a scammer based on the dog pack allegations, many of which turned out to be incorrect, but they were still promoting them as the truth. So should Mr. Beast issue defamation lawsuits to all those commentary
Yes, I'm for that. I'm absolutely for it.
channels? And should this end in a victory here and have a favorable ruling in the books for this defamation case, well, then Mr. Beast could point to, look at that, he won here already, we can use that. I'm not saying that would happen, but maybe it could. It's, again, probably just not best to just have that ammunition as a possibility. Now, at the end of the day, that's just one Cro-Magnon's perspective on it, and it is completely fine to disagree with it, even healthy. You know what's not healthy is this trend where people don't even watch the video and only engage through select Twitter clips in order to get outraged at and form their whole opinion around the video they didn't watch from. Now, I don't want to just dive into some unhinged takes, but this one actually tilted me, and for some reason I saw this quite a bit. He spoke with Ethan Klein, but not iDubbbz. Pathetic. Like Maximilian Pegasus here. Pathetic Yugi. If only they watched the video. Because I didn't just speak to Ethan Klein, I also spoke with iDubbbz, and it's right there.
Yeah, you should. I think what makes your point stronger is that, all these people that made these false accusations about me not talking to iDubbbz, how about if I sue you? How would you like it? That's defense advice for you, Critical, when you try to defend yourself from public scrutiny. Use your logic against them.
There. In the very beginning of the video. Like,
super
it's early
effective
in the video.
technique.
Now, I did also have a brief conversation with iDubbbz about this as well. I mean, what can you do? I did say I talked with both of them about it. And yet people are still saying I only heard one side of the story. I mean, really, what can you do? Like, actually, what can you do? It's incorrect, but you're making whole arguments around this dream you had that didn't actually happen because you didn't watch the video. You just already had a preconceived image of me that you want to ensure stays intact so that way you can continue to not like me. And that's fine. You can not like me. Not everyone likes the fun-sized Florida man over here. That's completely fine. Absolutely. But can you at least be right about something that you're not liking me for? Just watch the video first. I just realized I have been yapping for almost 30 minutes, and I already know without even a semblance, not even an iota of doubt, that almost nobody is watching to this point. They've already formed their opinion even before clicking the video or within the first couple of minutes to start fighting on different points. There's no reason to keep going down there. Like, it does feel useless to even engage with a lot of online discourse. It does just feel useless because it doesn't even matter what the take is.
Well, people engage in it because they get paid for it. If there was no financial incentive in it, people wouldn't do it.
Is people don't even really care about the take per se. It's just
Critical is just a retired
interview, no
YouTuber,
what,
basically semi-retired.
Sometimes they don't even bother to watch the video to try and shit on you for something that they think you might have said in the video, or they saw like a tweet that references the video and that's good enough for them to shit on you for that, even if it's entirely wrong. So like it is not very productive. Anyway, though, just wanted to yap. That's about it. So, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like this video, in terms of how he addressed the issue, I think he did a below average on addressing the issue. He kept talking about how people have a problem with him releasing the video early or late. No, it's not that. People have a problem with you releasing low quality videos, okay, Critical? Don't try to change a topic. Don't deflect it. It's the low quality production in your videos that people have a problem with. Okay, now the lawsuit thing, I think that's absurd for people to well, I mean, My problem with you in the lawsuit is that you think that the other lawsuit besides iDubbbz, you think that those lawsuits are unnecessary. Those lawsuits against people like Frogan, Matt Haas, and Casey Tron or whatever the woke Twitch streamers, those are justified. Those people were destructive and they were innately evil. Ethan should definitely sue their pants off. I can agree with you on the iDubbbz situation. I don't think he should sue iDubbbz at all. And what was the last point?
Maybe they do the same thing. Now, I did also have a brief conversation.
And you think that defending these evil people from lawsuit is a good idea? I think it's a horrible idea. As soon as you give them an inch, they're going to take a mile. They're just going to keep taking until they can have it all. That's what these people want. They want power. They want everything that the good people have, especially when they don't deserve it. So I can agree with you for the most part, Critical, and I think it's kind of, I don't know if you did it on purpose or not, but I think it's kind of shady that you try to change the topic of that streamer's critique of you about how your videos are lower quality production. You try to change the topic into how people have a problem with you releasing a video too early or too late. That is not an issue. No one has an issue with that.